Welcome to the Entrepreneur Spouse Support Broadcast, a weekly 15-minute broadcast with your host, Joanie Winberg. Learn how to work, love, and survive life with an entrepreneur. Our special guests will be sharing tips, tools, and their success stories to help support entrepreneur spouses and their families. And now here's Joanie.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Spouse Support Broadcast, how to work, love, and survive life with an entrepreneur. Hi, it's Joanie Winberg, your host. Today we have a great show. We're going to talk about 3 tools on how to stay connected as an entrepreneur couple. Now, we appreciate the entrepreneur couple. We've been entrepreneurs and also entrepreneur spouses, and we understand the entrepreneur has to be all in, has to be driven to make their dreams come true. And as the entrepreneur spouse, maybe you're the one working the 9-to-5 job to support the family, or maybe you're taking care of the home front to keep everything running smoothly so the entrepreneur can live his or her dreams. Or maybe you're wondering, when is it my turn to live my dreams and achieve my goals? So we are here to divorce-proof or help keep that relationship together and stronger than ever. And today I have calling in from Hawaii, June Dillinger, and she's going to talk about some great tools, as we said, on how to stay connected as an entrepreneur couple. So June, unmute yourself and tune in.
Aloha, good morning.
Good morning. I'm just so thrilled, and I'm sure we're having total different temperatures right now. We are chilly and windy and in the 40s, and I'm sure it's a lot warmer in Hawaii.
Yes, actually it is. It's probably, maybe 84, and the trade winds are blowing, and I'm wearing a sundress. What can I say?
Well, I got the turtleneck on so you can see. So we're excited to talk about this. And you've been an entrepreneur, you're an author, and I love how you call yourself a brilliant creator. So you really understand the importance of a couple working together to achieve those dreams. And you have some really great tools that you want to share. One of them, you talked about how to be patient in your partnership, in your partner's growth. So let's talk about that.
Well, there's some really important things in how we keep love alive. And that's acknowledging where we are as individuals and where we are as a couple. And to be able to keep up with the game of life and each other's dreams, there are moments within the day that it's really all about me. And then there are moments within the day that it's really all about my mate. And then there are moments in the day where it's about both of us. And then there are moments where it's not about either one of us. And so when we are both aware of what these windows look like, it really helps support an entrepreneurship career relationship, especially when one has what I like to call a static job or a career job versus the total dreamer like I have been in my world. And so being patient and understanding those is being able to define those 4 types of ways of being in our relationship.
So what I'm hearing is, first of all, people just have to be aware and understand that it's, like you said, sometime me time, you time, us time, and then no time. So that's important. And that's probably the first step, is just being so aware.
Yeah, and acknowledgement of that piece is not a simple task because most of us spend our time in our own head. And when you're living with somebody in a world that has a standard or more traditional career, in a world that is also incredibly media-based or internet technology, or everything we do is on this device, we take it everywhere. It's even by our bedside. How it's learning how to separate that time and actually be in relationship with each other, set aside all the devices. So that adds like another piece into the equation that requires awareness and attention.
So when you talk about being aware of your partner's growth, what do you mean by that?
Well, there are some times when you come home, let's say, for instance, you are my mate and you have a traditional job and you come home and all you want to do is complain about something that happened at work today. And really, that's just like anything else. You just need to let off steam. And it would be my role to listen and not provide any feedback, because really it's just like anything else. Your mate really just wants to let off some steam, and then just invite the question, would you like some feedback or support?
I love that.
And if they say no, then the answer is no. And if the answer is, I'd like feedback, yes, give me feedback. I'd like support, give me support. I'm not asking for a critique of what I just shared with you. I would just like some feedback or some support. What have you got on your mind that would look the way that would lift my life up and keep us in that place of love together?
I love that. And it's so simple. How can I support you? I mean, it doesn't
How
have
can
to
I
be
support you?
complicated.
Yeah.
Or without,
Mhm.
I'm here to fix it.
That's right.
Another point you want to talk about is why personal development is essential to your growth.
It is. It is. We go from being very young people to middle-aged people to what I like to call third generation people, not senior citizens, but there are all these stages in life that happen. And there's no way we could expect what happens to happen.
Mhm.
Whether it was a death of a loved one or a huge career change after 30 years and you were downsized, or your child shows up in a way that you had not expected, whether they become an addict of some sort, or perhaps a part of a community that doesn't suit who you think they should be. And so when we practice self-development, we have the opportunity to look at other people and how they choose to grow, and look at ourselves, because our minds continually are growing. Now, that could look like personal development in a form of a seminar. That could look like finding spirituality. That could look like finding a self-development or a self-help group. Perhaps it's Al-Anon or something along that line. But when we're in self-development and our partner is too, it adds more depth, more conversation, and more longevity to understanding where we are in our relationship with ourselves and with our mate. And the richness of it cannot be overemphasized. It just cannot be.
And
It's a must.
And I've worked with so many couples going through divorce, and that's why I'm so trying to divorce proof or help that relationship.
Yes.
Where I see one growing and one not growing. And that's where I see sometimes where the spouse is feeling resentful to say, you know, I'm ready to grow, but boy, I have to work because I've got to help pay the bills. And they see the other one growing, and I can see where this has been a conflict for some couples. But if, number one, if they can be aware of the challenges for each group or each one, like you said, and then also to help each other grow.
Absolutely. And then also to look at the benefit of what's happening with your mate. Like, what about them is supporting me in my growth? What about them am I not looking at, instead of being all backed up or angry or pissed off or mad because they're doing their thing and I'm not getting my needs met? But what about this could actually support me in growing? What about this could actually support us in growing? And we all want love. And our hope is that the possibility that our relationships remain vital and alive and connected. And you know what? Sometimes they don't. And in looking at that, so what is it about this situation that provides both of us growth? Where can we both find love in this kerfluffle of whatever is going on in our lives?
Absolutely.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Like, ask, figure it out, do something.
Talk. As simple as that.
or stop talking, one or the other. Yeah. Yeah.
That's more value probably. Your third tool that you wanted to talk about was creating time away, the most valuable tool to rejuvenate. And I can really go along with this one big time, but go ahead, talk about this one here, June.
Absolutely. And this is vital simply because of this thing that we're so attached to, or our laptop. Now we can text from our laptops. We can text in the car. Everything we can do is so connected to the outer world. And so spending a committed amount of time together regularly without any devices is vital to knowing who my mate is, hearing the sound of their laughter, really taking a deep look into their eyes, and am I listening to what they're saying? Am I connected? Am am I listening, but am I hearing what they're saying? And so blocking out a certain amount of time is very valuable to recreate what you first committed to or what you first fell in love with, or discover what more there is to fall in love with right before your very eyes. So blocking out time, it's like they say, make time to make love.
Oh,
I'm sure you, right? Make time to make love.
So,
So like, let's make some love visible by setting some time aside so that we can actually be present. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I stopped having parties. And my friends kept saying, when are you going to have more parties? And I said, I'm not going to do that. They're just going to get smaller and smaller until I get to spend time with just you. And that'll be great, because then I can honor you for who you are, and you get to see me. And sometimes the scariest part is allowing somebody to see who I really am. And to me, that feels like the gift of life, right? Who am I? Yep. Mm-hmm.
So part of it too is like you said, just set that time aside. And that might even be a discussion in itself to say, when do we have the time, the family time or the us time to be together here and really talk or understand each other even in a deeper level.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an age-old antidote. It's a solution. It's been around forever. And the challenge is really getting it done, and then asking yourself and chatting with your mate, well, what would be the benefit of this? What were the things that would come out of it that would be really good? So it may not be the overnight answer, and the conversation working toward it. What if we just spent 15 minutes and we walked down and put the mail in the post office box together, or we did the laundry together, something, even if it was within an activity, but it didn't require any outside resources like technology in particular, and that we're doing something together, like we actually bump. We bump hips or our shoulders touch, and we haven't touched one another for a really long time. Like we're in a small space, like we're in a one-person kitchen, and there's two of us in there washing the dishes. Something like that. It can be that simple.
Together with a glass of wine.
Me too. Red.
So, June, this has been really helpful because a lot of it is basic information, but it's always good to hear it and hear it many times to kind of bring us up for air, help us come up for air. And that's the whole point of this process or this program. And also, June, I just want to touch upon what's coming up for you. You've got a lot of good things going on. So share that with our audience, and also a way that they can connect with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Well, as you know, since I visited you in Boston, which was fabulous. I don't know how many years ago that was when I first started this project. I have finally completed a book called The Benefit of the Ex. And the subtitle is Making Love Visible When Everything Changes. And it's really not just about the ex-mate. It's about the ex-anything. What are you taking away from it, and how are you making love visible based on an experience that you've had? And I've sent it off to a publisher, and I'm looking forward to having a yes. I get that there are lots of steps in this process, but after 11 years, it's coming forward. And my website is makinglovevisible.com. makinglovevisible.com, and I can be reached on there, or certainly through Facebook or Instagram, or my telephone number in Hawaii is 808-330-5555. It's simple, and I'm happy to communicate with anybody. And so moving forward into a significant amount of public speaking, inspirational, most definitely. And that's with any kind of group of folks that want to find ways to shift, whether they're stuck in the office. It could be a government office. It could be working at the makeup counter in a department store. And how do you get around people that are just not working out for you? And so I'm excited about the future, and I'm looking forward to come and doing some work with you in Boston again.
Definitely, or vice versa. And the winter to Hawaii.
Yes. Come on.
Well, yeah. I want to thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll definitely follow up with this again when your book is out there and published, and definitely do that again.
Yeah.
And then, so thanks so much. And then also to our audience, our listeners, if you'd like to listen to this again, June had some really great tools. You can go to the Entrepreneur Spouse Support YouTube channel and certainly subscribe, and then learn more about the program that we offer, which is the entrepreneurspousasupport.com/program. And we really help with the couples communicating, maybe helping you reach your goals. So it's just a big helping with the big picture, as I say. So thanks again, June, for being here. It was such a joy.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Aloha, Joanie.
And thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you next week on the next broadcast.